The question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Sunday and it is during the day. So this is a little different for us. We are rolling on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, and on Twitch. It is episode 171 of the Throwdown, where we celebrate the art and sport of professional wrestling with a strong focus on the indies. I'm your host, Matt, and today we are throwing down with a wrestler based out of the UK, the one and only Brazen of the Woods. How you doing?
Oh, brilliant, mate. Thank you. That was a really nice introduction. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And before we get started, let me direct your attention to the ticker that's running along the bottom of the screen. That contains all, or at least most, of Brazen's social media accounts along with mine. So do us a favor. If you aren't a follower or subscriber, please take the time and go to each of those platforms and do so. It definitely benefits both of us. And for those of you watching this live, if you have questions or comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
On the indie scene out there on the shows, I've been about 2019. But I first started the journey when I was 16 years old, and I'm now 29. So I've been doing it for a while.
Gotcha. So basically, anywhere, depending on how you measure it, anywhere from 6 to 13 years.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Gotcha. So, who all has trained you? What is your primary trainer, and have you trained elsewhere besides that?
So the primary promotion I'm with is Evolution Wrestling, and they're based in Gloucestershire in England. And at the moment, the head trainer is Liam Jones. We're not getting on too well at the moment. We've got a very big match for my heavyweight title coming up. But he's been the influence behind a lot of people for a lot of times, and he's really quite an unsung hero of wrestling. He's been in it since he was 5 years old. His dad had the promotion. He's been mixing with other people. He's an incredible mind of knowledge for wrestling, and he's really underrated. Um, Before he was taken over, we used to have the odd people come in, so we would just have some bigger names pop in. Tyson T-Bone was one of them. We would have quite a few people come in for seminars, so it could vary back in the day, but now it's Liam Jones.
Gotcha. So, when you started professional wrestling training, did you come into it with an athletic background? Had you done other sports, other martial arts, anything like that?
Sports wise, nothing's really interested me. I don't like football. I don't like or soccer. I don't like soccer. I don't like cricket. I'm just not a fan. I've got into some American sports recently. I do like the NFL. I enjoy that. But from my personal background, the only thing I've ever done before is kickboxing. I've not really had any other apart from pro wrestling and kickboxing. I've done nothing else really. No.
Gotcha. So, in terms of the early portions of your professional wrestling training, what would you say was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Just thinking back quite a while, I think when you first start, I think the amount of athleticism that's involved, nobody understands. And even if you think you understand it, when you start, you realize that you haven't understand it. But when you sit in a position like we're in now and you look back, I probably think the biggest thing is psychology, because a lot of people will just go in there and go, let's do this and let's do that and let's do this. And it can turn out quite bad for everyone.
Gotcha. Well, having looked a bit at some clips and such of yours on the web, you are one of the more agile big men out there, and I have always really enjoyed watching the larger wrestlers that can move like a much smaller man, and you definitely have that capacity, and so. And those men are a special commodity, and I like for instance, I think about I was actually talking to a co-host of mine last night, and we were talking about Eric Rowan
Oh yeah.
as a big man that moves like a much smaller man, and so kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
That's something special.
Yeah. It's I don't like tooting my own horn or anything, but I do know that I've got quite a bit of athleticism behind me, and I know that with a certain amount of training, I know it can only get better. But yeah, it's something I do pride myself in. I know I can move, so I'm really happy with how the in ring sort of performance is just shown through.
Gotcha. So I'm presuming, because this has been the case with the majority of people I've had on the show, but I'm presuming that you've been at least a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, so when I was born, I'm pretty sure I remember my mother saying that when I was born, when we came out of the hospital, the first thing she would do is put on Raw because she needed to know what would happen. She loved it, so I've been pretty much watching it since I was born. I think it was always one of those things of she needed to find out what Stone Cold was doing. So by force, I was sort of not mean force, but by force, I was watching it, and I just fell in love with it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, what would you say is your earliest wrestling related memory? What is the earliest thing that you remember being kind of fully aware of as a kid watching?
I got the exact answer for that. I know that to a T. So I was born in 1996, and in
Mhm.
1997, Kane debuted. And my earliest memory was I knew I was asleep. I heard his song. I woke up. I was about a year old, and I would watch him through his entrance or through the end of the match. And the second he was off screen, I'd be straight back asleep. That is my earliest memory. I've always loved the aura of Kane and big sort of characters that are a bit outlandish.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, was there a particular point where your fandom shifted and you started thinking, I think I could actually do this? Was there a particular point, or was it more of an organic process where you just gradually came to that realization?
Oh no, no. So there was an exact point that I knew that this is something that I could do and I could do relatively well. And I do the quite rare. Not a lot of wrestlers do it, and I do recommend to do this because I feel like it's just great memories to have. But whenever I have a match, I have a book and I write it down. I write down the match, who it was against, what type of match it was, where it was, and the date. And my
Yep.
sixth ever match as the character Brazen on a main show, I was against another UK wrestler called Lee Hunter, and that is a wasted talent on the Indies because he is so good. It is unreal. It is on another level, and he was my sixth match. He was my first match with an opponent who wasn't from our academy, so you have the unknown coming in, at least for me.
Right.
And at the end of the match, I looked on my phone and we got a group chat with all the Evolution Wrestling in, and that was a great match. That was fantastic. You should be proud. And at the end of the day, Lee came over and talked to our promoter, and he said, "Do you want to do that again?" And he went, "I'd absolutely do that again with him any day." So that was the moment I knew, right, I might not be great, but I got something and I could roll with it.
Absolutely. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
I've it's kind of diverse in different areas, but there's not a lot of it. So I think my biggest and main two is animals and ancient history. On the animal side of things, I went to college for animal care and husbandry for both domestic and wild animals. I absolutely love animals, all sorts of nature. And on the other half of it, with ancient history, it's just something I've always been fascinated with. The amount of endless documentaries I've had in my ear or my headphones is unreal, whether it's from the Vikings or Egypt or Rome, you name it, the Native Americans. Those are probably the two I would fixate on outside of wrestling. I just love it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture. So, I'm always looking for recommendations. So, by any chance, are you watching or listening to anything cool right now?
Ooh, watching. I tried to watch things a while ago. I don't. I like the fade to pass because I remember the one distinct time is Game of Thrones came out, and it wasn't really for me. but I got forced to watch it and watch it over again. So I like a couple series to come out so I can make my own mind up. But at the
Right.
moment, I'm not. I've actually just finished the new season of Vikings that Netflix put up. I'm a little bit late to the party, but I was watching Halo not too long ago on Paramount. I don't know. I'm not really a series guy. I'm more into my movies, but I like the comedy stuff and sometimes the hero stuff. So I'm waiting for the new Avengers. If I'm honest, that's the
Oh yes.
where I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dying to see Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor
mean-
Doom.
mean-
That's going to be amazing.
It is. I'm not sure how it's going to work either, but from what I've seen before, they've gone away, and it's going to be a complete surprise to everyone and no one at the same time. So I can't wait for that.
Yep. So another outside of wrestling question, and that is outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
Outside of wrestling, to be honest with you, it'd be the same answer as before. I love my mythology and I love my ancient characters. I read it about the lives of other people from the past more than the future. It's just to, like you got Leonidas of Sparta. He just seemed like a badass guy. You hear about the gods of like Irish mythology, like Cuchulainn. He was just another one that you just hear these stories and you just think, oh, this is really cool. But modern day wise, I do love like my Steve Irwins, David Attenborough's again, going back to the nature. But if I'm not thinking of wrestling, I'm thinking of one of these two. So it's going to be someone from some of these.
Gotcha. So what is your actual hometown in the UK?
So I am in a place called the Forest of Dean. No one really knows about it. It's off the map, mainly because it is literally a town in the middle of the forest. We're tiny, but we're in Gloucestershire. We've got a nice sort of area where we're on the border of Wales, so we got a nice bit of travel to get anywhere. But it's very scenic. It's really nice.
Gotcha. So what would you say is your favorite thing about that area?
Oh, the woodlands, just the nature. I mean, to a degree, some of the nature can be a pain in the ass. I had my car wrote off by a deer last week, which is not ideal. But for everyone that wants to listen that's worried, the deer literally got straight back up and ran off, not a scratch. But my car, on the other hand, got straight on the back of a truck. So, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those deer can be tough boogers.
They are bulky, absolutely. I remember my wife jumped out the car and she looked at the front of it and she was like, "Oh my god!" Because she's from the other end of Gloucestershire. She's from a place called Cheltenham, which is quite built up, and they don't really have that sort of nature up there. She's like, "I thought that would just be a little dent because he got up and ran away," and I was like, "Nah." You hit a deer, it'll write you off almost immediately. No matter how fast you're going, 20 miles an hour, that'll still write you off. She's not got no idea. They're that bulky.
Yep. So I'm presuming that your ring name, Brazen of the Woods, is sort of a tribute to where you come from and the fact that you sort of live in the middle of a forest.
Pretty much. So the sort of the way I was going with the direction of the character was, like you said, I live in the woods. When I was with my granddad, my Irish granddad, we would do gardening and like tree surgery, stuff like that sometimes, and I absolutely love it. The brazen part of my name comes from ancient history with the brazen bull, so I just thought it's a nice little bundle. It comes up in a nice little bow and it complements each other quite well, I think. So
Gotcha. So looking over at the Instagram chat, we've got Jerry Green 80 in the chat, and my son Zach is actually in the chat.
okay, nice.
But so they say that the best wrestling personas are usually pretty much yourself turned up to 11.
Yeah.
So tell us about in-ring Brazen and compare and contrast him with everyday you.
I think that in ring Brazen is exactly what the name says as well, because obviously I was saying about it being a tie to the past with the Brazen Bull from ancient Greece, but also it is my fighting style in the ring. What I like to do is very brash, very brazen. I like to go straight in with punches and throws. I'm not fancy. I don't like my technical work. I could go with them if they want to do it. I'll try. I can match them, but I just prefer brute strength and ignorance, if I'm honest.
Got you. So you're basically a brawler at heart.
Pretty much, yeah. And that ties back to the kickboxing again as well that I used to do when I was younger. So,
right. So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts? Tell us about the first one.
So my very, very first match as Brazen was against one of our academy members, Eric Myers, and he is fantastic. And this was a little show we was doing just outside of Bristol, and it was all the academy guys. It was like the guys that were on the show that were made, and they were coming up with the new guys that were not on shows yet. And I got paired up with him, and we planned the match. Looking back at it, there's probably like loads I can nitpick off the moment. But overall, we left the match. I was happy. I heard that he was happy. And then we got told multiple times that we were the best one on that night. And again, that goes back to another one of those moments that make you go, ooh, maybe I can do this.
Right. So we've heard about the first one. Now, if you can narrow it down, tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
Ooh. There's probably so many. I think I could probably give you a top three, maybe. One of them was that Lee Hunter match I said earlier, because that's the one that really made me go, I got this, I can do this. I had one against a wrestler called Simon Quest. It was only a little show the intention of this show is the same as before. But we was just in together, put on the show. Everything went exactly how we wanted to go. It went so smoothly. We didn't really need to think. We just went off of each other, and it was amazing. We finished the match, and it didn't even feel like we'd finished the match. It was perfect. And I think the last one would be CJ Rawlins in Hannum of, I want to say June of last year or July, because that's the first time I won the heavyweight title for Evolution Wrestling, and that one really sticks out in my mind.
Got you. So, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure you have some of these, because everybody seems to get them given some time, and that is, what is your biggest in-ring pet peeve? What do you find you see happening in the ring that just gets under your skin and just bugs you?
I think a personal one, some people like it, some people don't. My personal one for me is when people sort of try and direct me what to do. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. If someone wants to say something or do something, we'll go for it. But I remember this distinct time we was doing a battle royal, and someone put my foot on their chest because they wanted me to kick them off. And it kind of just annoys me. Like, let's go with the flow. We're in a fight. I'm not going to kick you. I'm going to do something else if that's what you want me to do. I'm going to keep people on their toes. I really like that. And I also like it when people do that with me. I like people throwing me off the script a little bit as well, because that's how you learn. So I'm all for it.
Got you. So if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Probably great on the mic, because I know that can probably get you a lot further on the indies than being in the ring can. You could be okay in the ring, and if your Instagram is showing like amazing promos, more people are going to pay attention to you. But I suppose it works in both ways. But I'm more confident in the ring than I am speaking, so I would definitely say the speaking part.
Gotcha. On that topic, I have to definitely put over one of your countrymen, Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Because he has always been absolutely unearthly good in the ring, but when he was in Japan, he never really got the opportunity to talk that much. But this run that he had in AEW, man, where they've let him talk and let him really express his personality, that guy is amazing in both aspects. And I just wish him nothing but a good recovery from the neck and back surgery that he had. Hopefully, he can come back and be the Will Ospreay of old.
Hopefully, I mean, I got quite a fascination with wrestling where I like to watch little bits at a time. I don't like to watch a whole show. And I kind of, at the moment lately, I always circle my way back around to something from Will Ospreay. Even if I don't intend to, by the time I finish this, I would have watched something of his.
Oh yeah,
Phenomenal.
That guy is, yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who would you say are some of your influences? Who have helped to sort of shape Brazen into who and what he is?
I like for watching the people in the ring. I like watching the bigger guys. I'll watch Kane. I'll watch Undertaker. The more agile of the bigger guys, should I say? Umaga is another one. Going back as well, lots of Bruiser Brody. For like the promo wise and the character and how I want to come across, the obvious one is the Wyatt family. Maybe a bit of Sting as well, and how he would always present himself. I would probably say those are my nice little bubble.
Gotcha. Yeah, the other night, my last live stream, actually, we ended up talking for a bit about Bray Wyatt and just what an incredible mind and just the creativity of that guy, gone way too soon. I mean, there was just so much that we never got to see. It's just heartbreaking.
Oh, 100%. Because you see them all the time. Like you'll see on the social media, you'll see like people of. It's just the little things. I remember there was one. He was talking to someone, and their child, and it's just as simple as I told him his name. By the time the end of the conversation, can't remember the kid's name. That's my fault. But it's something like Aiden. He's like, "Oh yeah, see you, Aiden." And he's like, "Oh, I remembered your name." Those little things make a massive difference. And then, like you said, in the ring, just the promos, it's all outlandish, but not in a way that you wouldn't believe. So yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Mastermind.
Right. For sure. So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that it just really speaks to you. You find yourself kind of circling back to it. It's and it never really gets old. Do you have a match or matches that you hold in that regard?
Yeah. I got a couple. So there was one from a fair while back down in the early 2000s. I can't remember exactly I think it was a Royal Rumble, but there was Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. That went down a real treat. It was just straightforward. It just felt intense, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that one. Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle at SummerSlam. I like watching as well. That's another good one. There's probably some more that's more recent, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any. But I think those two were the two. If someone said to me, "Oh, I want to get into wrestling, what should I watch?" They would be my two. Go watch these two if you want to watch the popular stuff, and then go from there.
absolutely. And I've said this a few times on the show, man. Aside from the unfortunate way things ended with him, in terms of his in-ring work, Chris Benoit is actually on my Mount Rushmore of some of the best to ever have done it. Just the intensity he brought to the ring, it's just a real tragedy.
Yeah. Obviously, it's nothing nice to talk about, but like you said, in the ring, it was uncomparable.
Absolutely. Terrible human being, amazing wrestler. So
exactly that, yeah.
Yep. So, piggybacking onto that question, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Probably too many to count,
Right.
but I think if in like modern aspects of wrestling within the last 10, 15 years, I would probably say anything that maybe surprisingly maybe that Dolph Ziggler done, because I just think it was kind of real, but obviously presented in a way where it's on an entertainment wrestling platform. I think he's very underrated on the mic. I think everything he does comes across as more legit. And probably almost anything with Kevin Owens in, just purely because of the reactions. I'm not necessarily 100% with him on the mic. Not that I don't like him, but his reactions to everything are just on point. They're always funny, relative. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I will 100% agree with you about Ziggler. I think he is underrated all the way around.
Oh,
And you know, this run that he has had in TNA in his post WWE days, I think he has actually elevated his game and has really proved his all around worth. I mean, you know,
100%.
to have the opportunity to do his thing outside of the WWE umbrella has been so good for him. So,
Yeah, well, like you said, it's opportunity, isn't it? It's like how much is he allowed to do more now than he was before, and obviously that's been a whole lot more.
gotcha. So, and I'm going to ask this specifically to the UK scene right now because I want to actually put that scene over a bit. So right now, in terms of the UK wrestling scene, who are the best male and best female wrestlers in the UK? Who's the best man and who's the best woman, in your opinion?
Ooh, that is really tough. Um, it's really tough for a lot of reasons. I think the most recent reason is because you can see all the good wrestlers are getting
Right,
snapped up by TNA or AEW, so you can't really say them anymore because you can't say Will Ospreay anymore because he's not.
right.
Yeah, so that's I think god, that's really tricky. Do you know what? One name I will say, actually, I said it earlier. I'm not on good terms with him at the moment, but Liam Jones from here, he's breaking out slowly. He just came back from Japan. He is on another level. He is on another level, and it's really hard to say because words won't back that up. Like, he knows his stuff. He's like 25 years old with 20 years experience, and that's not just from Indies. That's from WWE in Japan and all these different things. Is he the best right now? Maybe not, because if that's a whole, like, that's a whole bubble to open. But he's definitely up there with them. He's definitely up there with them. And women wise, there was again, that's another one because all of them are getting snapped up as well. Well, that's on the spot now. I'm not sure. I'll circle back to that one. There'll be a name that'll pop into my head, and I'll just
Okay,
say
that's
it. I'll
fine.
just merge them.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent? Who would Brazen love to have the opportunity to share a ring with?
Prison or past. Well, I've actually managed to tick a couple of the ones off my list from my childhood or my early or my late teens. So I'm quite happy. I had a match with Suicide, and I've since I was a kid, I've always loved that character from TNA, and I managed to have a match with him. So I was over the moon. That was an amazing experience. And Tyson T-Bone, I knew him before WWE vaguely, and I know him a lot better after. But the possibilities for a dream match are endless. Um, if I was to pick one, it would probably be Richard Holiday over on your end of the states. I don't know
Oh yeah,
why, just something about him is just drawing me to him. I really like him. I think that would be my, if I was going over to America, that would be my dream match for America.
gotcha. Yeah, that guy is amazingly entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a showman. So, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
Um, well, my favorite move is going to be easily everyone who knows me, Black Hole Slam. Just I use that as my finisher, so to speak. Again, going back to the big guys, I love the Biss. He was another one that was,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely love him. So Black Hole Slam, I do that. I'm not, there's not necessarily a move I wouldn't take. I would definitely say it depends who's giving the move. A power driver from someone who's 5 foot. Well, I'm 6'2". I'm 250 pounds. So a power driver from someone who's 5'10" and 100 pounds is going to end very differently to someone who's matching my weight.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think there's a move I wouldn't take, but it's more of who's doing it or who's on the other end of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's I can definitely see that, and like you said, it's really kind of situational, with a lot of variables. Like you said, the size of the person you're working,
Yeah.
possibly even the setup of the ring. I mean, uh,
I got it. The woman wrestler, Nina Samuels. That's who I was thinking of. The name just didn't come into my head. There we are. Nina Samuels.
gotcha. Tell us a bit about her.
Oh, so right, okay. So at the moment, she's just on a trailblaze. She, I think it was roughly this time last year, she had like 11 titles or 10 titles from all of these places across, not just across England, but she had some from Japan, she had some from the UK, and she is honestly, if there is anyone ever watching this ever, she is definitely one woman you will want on your show. She's literally, if you strip it down to basics or you want to advance it to her, she's got it all. She's on that top.
Gotcha. I will have to reach out to her and
Yes,
try,
do.
try, try to get her on the show.
Absolutely. She's a lovely person as well.
Very cool. Very cool. So you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure this applies to one degree or another. So I'll ask you, what hurts right now?
Right. Okay. So this is gonna be a running joke with the Wrestling Academy. For the past 5 months, I've been performing with severe nerve damage with sciatica.
Hmm.
That is the killer of all killers. But I've been pushing through, and if they're watching this now, they're going to go back, they're going to clip this, and that's going to be in a group chat for everyone to take the mick out of. My shoulder is healing, but that got pretty banged up not too long ago. My elbow, that hurts as well. Um, I think I broke my two thumbs. I broke one and hyperextended the other this year. They're getting back on track now, so that about covers it. But I'm sure there's going to be more at some point soon.
Gotcha. So I know that, within wrestling, the nature of the beast is that, everybody works hurt. You're always banged up to one degree or another. There's a difference between working hurt and working injured. Have you ever worked injured?
No, and I will refuse to, just purely because if I don't feel like I can go in the ring safely, then I know that I can't look after the other people that are in the ring with me, and then that just becomes a whole other problem. I'll work hurt; it's not an issue. I won't work injured. If I'm even 99%, I'm not doing it. I need to know that we can, whoever I'm in the ring with, we can work around it and we can be safe. I need that. I need that guarantee, not just for me, but for the other person too.
Absolutely. So, over the time that you've been doing this, what would you say is the worst bump you have taken?
Again, that might be too many to count. I'm not one to shy away from things. I do, like, you get the big tower spots in tag matches. I'm always the one that I'll do the I'll go to the top. It's fine. I tell you what, it's not the worst bump I've ever taken. I don't think I ever take something that I can't handle, but the ones I'm always 50-50 on. You see it quite a lot is when they put you on a chair and then they come running at you with something, and that's only because it messes with my sort of internal, I suppose, bump. I never know how far I am to the ground or how far I'm going. It messes with me. I don't mind taking them. I'm quite happy to, but I think that's the one that weirds me out.
Yeah, yeah. What was interesting, I've had a few, over the time I've been doing this, I've had some folks that are deathmatch wrestlers come on, and those guys are a different breed.
Yeah.
And but what's been interesting though is the one deathmatch accessory that all of them kind of fear a little bit. Interestingly enough, are Legos. Nobody wants to bump onto Legos, and if you've ever even stepped on a Lego, you know
Yeah.
why. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely. It's not even pain. It's like a sting, and it's
yeah,
not nice. Yeah, so I
yeah.
get that 100%. I get that.
Yeah, I had a guy on, and he said the worst bump he ever took was getting power bombed onto a dumped bucket of Legos. He said that was the worst, the worst
Oh yeah.
experience of his career, and I can only
I
imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't
he,
want to experience that myself. Oh.
he said 1,000% worse than tax. I
Oh
mean,
really? Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Well, hopefully I will find out. So.
So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
Well, I myself am not on the top level that I should be doing it, and I know that. But it is for people that are unknown. It's the ultimate tool. There is nothing that will get you more like people don't believe it. Like I uploaded a clip, and it was of me kicking someone into the stairs from the ring, and overnight that had 1,000 views. Just that alone. So if you're uploading daily, whether it's pictures, videos, clips, you're going to be getting that daily. So somebody out there somewhere is going to like you, and it's they're going to follow you, they're going to watch you, recommend you, and it's just a big snowball. If you're not signed to a big label deal, it is the ultimate get you out there.
Gotcha. So, knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
To just do it. I think when I wanted to start, I was a bit apprehensive. I would kind of skip training on some days, not because I didn't want to do it, but because I was a bit nervous of the other wrestlers around me. As you can imagine, like meeting people like Tyson T-Bone in person, who's covered in tattoos, who is muscled to the hilt, who is actually you know, a really big, it intimidates you. But when you just go through it and you go through the motions and you learn, you pick it up, you get it. Just don't be afraid. If you want to do it, just go and do it. That would be my advice to myself.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, what does your family think about all of this? What do they think about the fact that you are pursuing your wrestling dreams and succeeding?
So my wife doesn't like it at all because I always come home hurt. Um, my nan or grandmother for the people who don't. So my nan is she absolutely loves it. She'll come and watch everything. My kids don't really care too much because their favorite wrestler isn't me. It's someone else they've seen on the show. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, dad's a wrestler, but look, there's the other wrestler, Adam Lane, over there, and then that's who they like. So
Gotcha.
bit of a
Gotcha.
mixed bag, yeah.
Gotcha. So, Do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Um, Not really. I often I like to get dressed as early as I can because sometimes the backstage area can get rammed if it's too small or if it's a big show and you've got people running back and forth. I like to get my gear on as quick as possible, and then I usually just end up pacing. I don't necessarily have an actual tradition. It's just usually right. We get in, set the ring up, right. Gear goes on, and we'll just wait for the bell.
Gotcha. So, just kind of a quick rundown. What all do you carry in your gear bag? And do you carry anything unique or unusual?
Um, I don't think I carry anything unique or unusual, but I've always got my gear. I've always got some form of painkiller at the moment for my sciatica. But before the sciatica, it would literally just be straight up gear, towel, spray bottle for the hair, and then possibly like some accessories if I'm feeling like, oh, I want an entrance jacket today, or oh, I want this. I try and carry as minimal as possible, but what I need, I know my deodorant is just ran out, so I need to throw a new deodorant in there. Some people carry conditioner as well, actually, which is a good idea because after you finish spraying your hair, it doesn't get oil. So I think I need to start carrying that around as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Looking over at the Instagram chat, I see that Chris Page from CCP Podcasting
Yeah.
is sitting in the chat, and I know that coming up in just a little bit, you're going to be chatting with him as well. So
Yes.
definitely shout out to Chris. If you guys aren't familiar with CCP Podcasting, definitely check them out. Chris and I have an affiliation of sorts, and we definitely are trying to put each other over, send each other guests, that kind of thing. So it's definitely been a good partnership and a great brotherhood. So do you have a favorite venue to wrestle in? Is there a venue that you just really like that's really special to you, or are they all kind of the same?
It depends. Venue can really sort of impact a show, and it is in a weird way. So there are definitely ones I like to wrestle in. In Gloucester, we do GL1, which if we work hard and we promote, we can pack out to 500 plus people. That's a good one to wrestle at. There's one I didn't actually get to manage at, but in Gloucester we have a prison that had shut down, and I used to work with the co-owner of it, and I managed to get our wrestling show in there. But I got booked in France for the same weekend, so I didn't necessarily get to wrestle in there. But I bet that was a really cool experience for the guys that did. And then sometimes the little cozy venues around where I live is nice because it's nice to finish and be home in 5 minutes. So yeah, I think it all varies. It all varies, but I think the one we do at GR1 Leisure Centre, that's probably my favourite.
Gotcha. Well, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. And so my previous guest was a wrestler based in Tampa, Florida, the Mad Hatter Rafael Delgado. And the question that he posed is, what motivates you to keep going?
In a wrestling aspect, what motivates me to keep going is just how far, like how small of a world wrestling is and how far you can go just like that. Like I worked with some people like Nathan Angel, for example, who's now one of the recent NXT signings. Just out of nowhere, just straight in on there. It's the amount of people that you get to meet, the new experiences, traveling. I love traveling. I absolutely love it. Um, anything in that barrier, that's what keeps me going in wrestling, because not only do you love the sport, but the stories on the road. There's a couple of wrestlers I went to Belgium with I drove from our place in Gloucester down to Bristol, picked up the lads. We went all the way to the port, got on the boat over to France, drove through France, straight to Belgium, and it's just stupid, just in the best way possible. Just stupid stories like that, which you can tell to anyone, and they won't care. But because you were there in the moment, best thing ever. Things like that. That's what keeps me going.
Got you. Got you. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to pose to the next guest?
Yeah. So my question to the next guest would be: is there ever been a moment that's made you sit on the bench and be like, I don't want to do this anymore? And then what brought you back from it?
Oh, I like that. That is actually a really good question. How would you answer that?
So mine is I did before I was on shows while I was a trainee. I did leave because there was a couple of people trainers that I just didn't get on with, and it's just they strict in the sense of like we're wrestlers, we're here in our time, we obviously want to work hard for this, but we're not in any form of like military. You don't need to berate us and talk down to us, and I'm not having it. I'm not that person. If you're kind to me, I'm kind to you. If you want to be an ass to me, I'll just sod you and leave you. So that when they left, I came back, and I've not looked back since. And I've been in touch with them since as well, and they are a completely different person. They are absolutely lovely. But yeah, I think that was my answer to that.
Gotcha. So we're getting toward the end of things now. So, aside from your upcoming appearance on Chris Page's podcast at 1:30, so about 40 minutes from now, do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Yeah, so we got at the end of the month on the 22nd of November, we were at GL1 Leisure Centre in Gloucester. It is essentially one of our big shows. We do 2 or 3 of them in there a year, and they usually we do one in the winter, one in the summer this year. And it's got everything you could imagine. We got a ladder match going on. We got a battle royal for the start of the show to get the guys warmed up. We got myself and Liam in a street fight with a special guest ref, who Simon Quest, who retired, who's now come back. It's going to be a big spectacle. We got people coming in. We got a band to play, and I think it's our halftime show. It's literally got everything you could want. It's going to be such an amazing night, especially when I retain the heavyweight title. And I think that everyone should come and have a look. Everyone should come and have a look, or at least Google it and find out about it if you're not around the area.
Absolutely. Well, as far as what we've got coming up on the Throwdown, tomorrow night, Monday, November 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got episode 172, and our guest is a Texas-based pro wrestler and leader of the Cult of Pizza, which I'm interested to find out what that's all about. But his name is Caius, and he's actually one of the participants in the Genesis show that Chris Page is promoting in Castleberry, Florida, on November 22nd. So anyway, he's coming on tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, the 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 173, and our guest is an up-and-coming Minnesota-based pro wrestler, Elijah Harris Dixon, and he is definitely a name to watch on the Minnesota scene, and he is also the son of a previous guest on the Throwdown, El Payaso Enigmatico. So those are the next couple of episodes, and definitely keep an eye on my socials, because I'm actually pretty much fully booked through about the second week of December at this point. So there's definitely some cool stuff coming. But before we wrap all of this up, do you have any final words? Anything that we didn't get to that you'd like to bring attention to, or anything you'd like to say to the audience before we put a bow on this?
I think the only main thing I really want to say is just for everyone, not necessarily in the UK, but outside of the UK, to have a look at the UK indie scene, because there's a lot of unique wrestlers there. Just give them a watch, give them a follow. Everyone appreciates all of the income of, like, fans, and it can change everyone's experience for the better. And you watch some new wrestlers and you broaden your horizons as well. I think it's a good thing to keep an eye on it. If you could have a nose at us at Evolution Wrestling as well, we do our damn best to put on a good show, and I think we do every night. We knock it out of the park in the best way we can. And for the guy in Texas, if you put pineapple on the pizza, you lost me. Not interested.
Gotcha. I will.
Yeah.
I'll ask him about pineapple on pizza, because that's something I don't understand either.
No, I don't like it. Anyone who does it is not a friend of mine. Absolutely not.
Absolutely. So, do you have merch available? And if so, how would somebody get your merch?
So I do have one design of t-shirt available. I'm working on another. At the moment, it's just a case of, if you want it, if you like it, just send me a message on Instagram and I can get it sent out to you. For the guys that were watching this that might be local, come to our shows, because there are a lot of wrestlers have our merch there. So that's probably the best way you can get it.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for your time, Brazen. This has just been amazing. Like I said before we went on the air, I always enjoy the opportunities to actually talk to somebody outside of the U.S. That there's always a bit of scheduling logistics needed. I actually recently did one of these with a wrestler in Australia, and that took some doing, because from Eastern time in the US, that is a 14-hour time difference. So I ended up doing it at 11 p.m. My time, which was 1 p.m. Australia time the next day. So
wow.
It was
That's mad, isn't it?
But the fact that technology has gotten to where you can have a seamless live stream chat with somebody on the other side of the world is just amazing. I mean,
absolutely. For any reason, for interviews like this, or for getting the whole family, it's amazing.
Truly. So anyway, like I said, thank you for your time. This has been an absolute pleasure. And for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. Like I said, all of our socials are running on the bottom of the screen. And if you like what we're doing here, definitely do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow night at 7 with Caius, be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep throwing down.